Hey everyone, it's Jason and this is your cruise news update, and we have a missing teenager scare on Carnival. College football fans are upset with Royal Caribbean, and I need your opinion on this last one. Do you feel manipulated or guilted into tipping on your cruise? So cruise story number one, and I can't imagine what these parents went through, as this would have been a nightmare situation. So on the Carnival celebration on the first night, there was a general alarm around 5 a.m. and it was a missing person. Well, a couple hours goes by, there's no announcements. People are like, hey, what happened? So multiple people have said they talked to crew members and they said that it was a 17-year-old missing teenager. And apparently there was a large group that was sailing together and he was found in another cabin. Now I find this very interesting because obviously that would be the first cabins you would think they would check, and they wouldn't make a general alarm on this. Because when they do that, about 1,800 crew members have to go into action. So whether they're sleeping, whatever they're doing, they have to take procedures to find this young man. Well, they found him. And I'm glad they found him. That is a great situation. I can't imagine what the parents went through. But this is also a lesson for everyone that has kids or that's traveling with kids, that you shouldn't use the cruise ship as your babysitter. Now, look, I think cruise ships are 99.99% safe, but unfortunately they are small cities and you need to know where your kids are. That's why they have curfews at 1 o'clock in the morning. And obviously my mind goes to, why was this general alarm made at 5 a.m. in the morning when the curfew is at 1? What were these parents doing until 5 a.m. when that alarm was set? What do you guys think about this? And have you ever heard a general alarm like this? Let me know in the comments. So cruise story number two, and this story has the internet divided as to who's at fault. And I'd like to know what you think. So a passenger was on Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas out of Galveston, Texas. And they said they went to the crew and they asked him, hey, where can I find the Texas Longhorn versus Clemson Tiger game? And the crew member said, we're so sorry, we're not showing the game. Now, this ship was out of Galveston, Texas. Understand that ships that sail out of certain states are usually made up of anywhere from 50 to 70% of residents from that state. So it wasn't just this passenger, but he posted this on Reddit, Facebook, many different places, saying, hey, he was really upset and frustrated at Royal Caribbean. Now, I remember the years 20 years ago when we first started cruising, you couldn't find any games. There would be some European soccer on an ESPN alternative channel. Even the scroller at the bottom wouldn't show the scores, and you had to go down to the internet cafe the next morning, log on, take about 10 minutes to log on, and find out what the score was. And that's how you found out. So, look, I personally think cruise lines have done a much better job in the recent years of showing football games. You can find the NFL playoffs, the NCAA tournament, and I'm sure most ships had these games. But what they found out was the Harmony of the Seas, also out of Galveston, Texas, had the football game. So it's a little insult to injury there. Now, the people that are divided on this said, hey, don't plan a game or a cruise during the season. But this is a little different. This is the college football playoff. You would have had no idea when your team was playing, where they were playing, or anything like that. So it's a little bit of a different situation. Who do you think's at fault here? Do you think they should be frustrated and upset with Royal Caribbean? Or as many people said is, go on your cruise and enjoy it, pull up the game on your internet and say, all right, we won, we lost, and move on, enjoy your cruise. Do you plan your cruises around your favorite sporting events or seasons? I know plenty of people that do. Let me know in the comments. So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you please like this video and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 3, and this is always a hot topic for debate, and I want your opinion. Have you ever felt guilted or manipulated into tipping on your cruise? So a passenger wrote into John Hill, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Line, and they seemed irritated, as they said, stop asking us or guilting us into tipping on our cruise. Pay these crew members a living wage or a good salary like they do hotel workers in the United States. Don't ask us to pay extra for them to do their job. Now, John Heald responded with, hey, we appreciate the feedback. Tipping is obviously a personal matter, and we hope you enjoy your cruise and you have amazing and brilliant service. Now, this is interesting because I have said this and I continue to say this, is we see this on TikTok and we see this on many different places, as this is the new trend as a tip and tricks is to remove your tips on your cruise. I personally think these people work extremely hard. I don't think I've ever felt guilted or manipulated to tip on my cruise. But I do believe many people take tips off now. And they look at it as a trick to save money. And that's just a shame. I think of anybody that deserves tips on anywhere in the world, and I truly believe tipping culture is absolutely out of whack. It's totally insane. You walk up to places, there's no one helping you. It's nothing. It's grab and go, and they're asking you for a tip. But these people work hard. They deserve their tips. But it's also something that's been in place for many years. And my personal opinion is the cruise lines have adjusted many different things in the cruise industry over the years. And I really believe they need to start looking at adding tips to the cruise fare. Cruises are hot. They're not going anywhere. People continue to want to get on cruise ships. This would be the right time to do it. Add tips to the cruise fare, and this argument goes away, basically. You can't take tips off because it's already built in. Now, I know a lot of people have said they can't do that. I've done some research, extensive research into this, because they can't do it because they'll be taxed, it's revenue, it would hurt the crew members, etc., etc., etc. But Virgin Voyages has done it, and if you look at any of their boards, mostly the question that comes up as tipping, do you tip extra? And that will always be something that comes up. Now, what do you think about this? Do you think cruise lines should just go ahead and add tips? All the cruise lines. Because I think if one does it, Norwegian, Royal, any of them, all of them will follow suit and add it in there. Do you think they should just go ahead and do it? And also, have you ever felt manipulated or guilted into tipping on your cruise? I can't wait to hear from you in the comments. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again so much for the continued support. It really does mean a lot to me. Until I talk to you soon, happy cruising.